Hi, friends. I really appreciate the opportunity to clarify something. We've been talking about this idea that if you want to lose weight, you should not exercise. And I suppose I did not express myself correctly. Obviously, as if you've read anything about me, I'm in great favor of exercise. I just came back from my morning exercise routine. Um, what I mean to say is this: the real problem with weight gain or excess weight is excess food, not lack of exercise. In other words, if you go out in the street and you look at people who are not overweight, ask how many of them actually exercise heavily. And you might find that some people are not overweight and they don't exercise heavily. There's absolutely no question. This is a matter of logic. The matter of overweight is a matter of overconsumption of food. And in other videos, in other classes, I explain how this happens because in therapy, sometimes a person will say to me, yeah, but I don't eat that much and I'm still overweight. And I say, okay, how long have you been at this weight? And they tell me, well, about 10 years. I said, okay, suppose you're about 50 pounds overweight. In order to go, let's just say, for sake of conversation, your normal weight would be 150 and you're now at 200, so you're 50 pounds overweight, just for sake of conversation. And they say, okay, how long have you been at 200? Well, for about 10 years, let's just say. Okay, so for 10 years, you have been eating at the appropriate amount for your activity level, sure. But some time ago, in the past 10 years, when you first started gaining weight, for a period of time you did overeat, otherwise you wouldn't have gained the 50 pounds. And I think that's quite obvious. The only way to gain weight is to actually eat more than what you need. So what happens when a person exercises heavily with the intention of losing weight is appetite increases. They start eating more. I've been doing this for 21 years. People start eating more when they exercise. Exercise increases appetite, both physiologically and psychologically. Physiologically, because the body, the brain, has evolved a whole bunch of different mechanisms to maintain things as they are. We call this homeostasis. So, what happens is that when the body begins to detect an increase in caloric expenditure, it says, okay, the way to replace this, the way to fix this, is to increase appetite so we can replace what we're losing. There's no question that, as you begin to exercise, appetite goes up, but also psychologically, mentally. The person says, well, I'm working out anyway, I might as well indulge a little bit. I can just run an extra mile tomorrow. I can just go an hour earlier to the gym. I can just lift a few more pounds. In other words, I deserve this candy bar or ice cream because I'm working out so hard. So the net effect of starting to exercise without without dropping the food addiction first is that weight goes up. So people say, well, that's because I'm drinking more water, that's because I'm putting on muscle. No, no, no. You're putting on fat as well from overeating. And we've seen this all the time. So then what happens is this: after a few weeks of waking up early, sacrificing, paying your gym dues, and working really hard and sweating and not losing any weight, and in some cases gaining weight, after a few weeks, a person gives up and says, well, exercise is just not for me. They give up. And now that they gotten used to eat a little bit more than usual, weight really goes up. So, what I'm proposing is that we look at the weight loss issue from the perspective of habits that we have regarding food. We associate food with emotions, with feelings, with even sensuality, with sociality. In other words, we socialize around food. We associate food with everything, and rarely with nutrition, I guess. But the point I'm making is that we have to address those habits. We have to change the way we see ourselves and the way we see food and our relationship with food. The theme around which I work therapeutically and through these channels of communication is the concept of meeting your better half. You gotta meet the part of you that is free from all of these negative, toxic habits. That part of you that we call the soul, the conscience, you gotta meet that part of you. That's why we call it meet your better half. And as you begin to get more intimate with yourself, almost like at a spiritual level, you realize that those cravings begin to drop. Because, friends, between you and I, if we really examine what's behind every single craving, I don't care if it's the craving for a faster car, a craving for more food, whatever the craving is, behind every craving there's a much deeper issue, which is a void that we feel inside. There's a void. There's a feeling that we're missing something. And here's the irony of the whole thing. Whatever it is that we're missing cannot be gained, it cannot be attained by that which we think we need. In other words, if I'm missing a connection with myself, a connection with God, a connection with the universe, and as a result of that void, I feel that I'm hungry and I need a candy bar, I guarantee you the candy bar won't do the trick. It will give me an initial jolt of joy because of the sugar, but it won't produce the connection that I'm craving. So we have to address this from a causal point of view. In other words, what's the cause of the problem? And that's why rather than exercising, if you want to adjust your weight, I suggest to slow down. You sit down, you close your eyes, and you get in touch with yourself. And you get in touch with that part of you that we consider real. What are you really missing? And how is it really that you see yourself to the degree that for a period of time, at least in your life, you did overeat and in some ways, with all due respect, disfiguring our bodies and very, very much so damaging our health. We have to we have to think about this from this perspective. And I know this is tough, and I know that you know some people tell me, well, you kind of say the truth too bluntly, and people may not like that. And I don't know. I've been making a living for many, many years, supporting my family, telling people the truth in a blunt way, but not to offend and not to hurt. And I found that people appreciate that. And oftentimes, every day I hear this, well, nobody ever told me this before. I want to help you be free from that which doesn't work for you. I want to help you be free from that which does not work for you. Because if you sit here and tell me, if you look into my eyes and tell me, look, I'm obese, but I'm extremely happy, I say, dude, I'm happy for you. I have absolutely no issues with that's not the point. But the people that I meet um, are suffering as a result of this. They're suffering on many, many different levels. And when they come to me to get away from that suffering. And what we find is that getting away from the suffering isn't so much a matter of teaching them what to eat, put the broccoli instead of the cheese, whatever. It's not about that. They don't need nutritional classes. It's not about a fitness coach. It's about helping them change their minds about themselves. A cloud moved on top of the sun, in front of the sun, and blocked some of the rays that were hitting my eyes. Anyway, it's a lovely opportunity to just sit here with you and visit for a few moments. I so much appreciate you being here. And by all means, let me know what you think about this. And by the way, if you're looking for a way to change your mind about yourself, what we need to do is learn to visualize ourselves at a whole different level of awareness. I can help you do that with a free book, no charge. Click on the link associated with this video, or drop me an email, or let me know somehow, find me somehow. You can call the office, you can send me an email. I'll make sure you get the book, and then we can study this together. I'll be happy to help you. But it is important that we meet our better halves and change our minds about ourselves, and your life will change. Let's change from the inside out. That's how we're going to produce a better world. Thank you for spending a moment with me. Thank you. Have a great day.